Okay, party people, I know you're going to love this project, but it does take a lot of time and um, technique to get it just right. So pay attention so you know what to do. The first thing we're doing is making our template, which is on the small little piece of copy paper. It's a square. You fold it in half diagonally. And then on that diagonal line is where you draw your design, which will be a word. I'm choosing the word love, and I'm writing it in big bubble letters. Not so much worried about, you know, the word being like super perfect as much as like filling up the space because we're making a design. The design just happens to be a word. So my design is filling up the space. My letters are going right off the top of the paper, kind of curvy V there just for fun, and then the E squeezes in there towards the corner. And that's totally fine. You want it to be about a design, not about the word looking just perfecto. So darken up the word. You're gonna make those letters what I call kind of fuzzy or hairy so that there's a lot of pencil graphite on the word, and that'll make it easier to make a reflection print on the other side of that folded line. You'll see. All right, you're going to fold the paper over once you've made it nice and hairy, plenty of pencil on those lines, and you're going to rub it. Rub it really hard. Use a permanent marker, I think is really the best tool. Just using the other end of it or any kind of tool that kind of more precisely puts pressure on it and it really makes it transfer like that. Oh, you might think that's not as exciting as it is, but it truly is. Then just trace the whole design with a permanent marker. Okay, your template is ready. You can erase those little pencil lines you decided not to include if you want. And then it's time to put your design on your drawing paper. So your drawing paper is about 11 by 11 inches square. So fold it in half 2 times, and each of the little squares will be the exact same size as your template. And you're going to get your design from your template to your drawing paper in a really unique way. We're going to use carbon paper. Carbon paper is really cool. So put your template with the diagonal line from the template pointing directly at the center of your white paper. See how that line is directly pointed to the center? That's exactly the way you want to lay it out. It'll always be pointing towards the center. So put your carbon paper underneath and the template on top. Diagonal line is pointing to the center, and the printing on the carbon paper will be facing up. That's how you know you're using the right side of the carbon paper. Trace over your design. You don't have to push very hard. You just kind of have to move your pencil along the design. You're going to get really, really good at tracing this design because you've done it so much already, and you're going to do it even more. So just be ready for that. Make sure you get each and every letter, even those little tiny spaces are important. One more. Just hold it still with one hand. That's the trick. You don't want to move it around. Keep it steady. Then you get to take it all apart and your design is there. Huzzah! So cool, carbon paper. Okay, you got 3 more times that you have to transfer this design. But you have to turn your template in a certain way. Watch. My finger holds it in the middle just like it was, and then I'm going to grab the corner and rotate it. rotate it like a clock. It just turns down, and now the design reflects on the bottom of my drawing paper. It's going to look really neat when it's all done in a radial pattern. So just make sure your letters are matching up, your L to the L, the O to the O, the V to the V, and the E to the E. Of course, you probably are doing different letters than me. Trace again using the carbon paper. All right, that was easy, right? Carbon paper is pretty amazing. And now your design is ready to be traced with permanent marker. Yes, you are going to trace this design one more time because carbon paper is kind of yucky and it leaves these little gaps that you want to smooth out with your marker so that you have a fully drawn design without any little holes in it. So go ahead and outline it with that permanent marker. It'll also make coloring a lot easier for you. So yep, just go one more time around, but look how big your shapes are now. Once you connect them, then I think it looks a lot neater, a lot cooler. If there's something you want to add with your permanent marker, go ahead and do it now. Just make sure you're keeping it part of your radial design. And then, of course, it's time for the fabulous, the fun. The very last step is coloring. And you can color your project with whatever colors you like, however you like. But please, please, color in a radial design. Meaning, if you color one shape on one side, color the same shape, the same color on the other side. Don't just do it random, willy-nilly, anywhere. Try to keep it organized, and I promise you will just love your design when you're done. And you should, because you've worked hard, it's beautiful, it has a special meaning, and you made it. So go ahead and have fun with the colors. You're almost done. I can't wait to see what you make. Have fun!